You know, ever since I moved to Florida, I haven't built a single real grade, and I think it's time for me I build something very special to me. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disasta back with another review, and today we are going to take a look at the real grade Shining Gundam from the G Gundam anime series. For those who've been subscribed for a while, you know that I've been gushing all over G Gundam, and just to save you some time, I'm gonna go right into the review without me going gaga all over it. To be honest with you, I did not expect they make a real grade Shining Gundam. So, hey, I guess they got my other dream kit come true. So take a look at the box art here. We got the usual real grade box art, like the close-up of the face and the Gundam itself. Check out this side of the box, we see a familiar image, and over here it just shows the Gundam in its normal mode and the super mode. Moving on over, it just shows off the nice posing, the hand options, the marking stickers, and if you look really closely, this recreates that one opening from the G Gundam anime. And moving further to the right, we got more close-up of the details right over here, and the Gundam crossing its arms. Got to this side of the box, showing off the cool poses, what the kit looks like from the rear, showing off the core lander and the articulation and the opening cockpit. And after cracking open the box, we got 5 bags of runners and the manual. So looking at the cover of the manual, of course it's a familiar image, and checking the parts list, well, it looks like we're gonna have a handful of leftover parts. Moving on to the next page, just gives you information of the Shining Gundam, and moving further down, gives you information of the super mode, and once we go to the back of the manual, it shows where you place all the marking stickers. Forgot to mention, in the last page of the manual, we got some images from the anime and how this kit recreates some of the scenes and some of the gimmicks. On to runners, starting off with runners A1 and runner A2 are going to be multicolored runner. Now, they're both going to share this chunk of a runner. So for A1, it's going to have more of the red parts, and we got the shining finger parts and parts for the eyes. Runner A2 is going to have the yellow parts and that one part for the core lander. B is going to be the MS joint parts. Now, for those who have a really sharp eye, you know that this is the same runner as the RG God Gundam. C is going to be parts for the inner frame, and again, if you have a sharp eye, you know that this is the same runner as the RG God Gundam. Except you have runner D, and you have 2 runner E's to make up the rest of the inner frame parts. Runner F is going to be the white parts. Runner G is going to be the off-white parts. Runner H is going to be the blue parts. You got 2 runner eyes for the gold parts. And finally, you have a marking sticker sheet and beam saber effect parts. 1 long and 1 short. So that's going to be it for the unboxing. Okay, now I know I said I'm not going to go gushing all over it, but man, I am really excited to put this kit together. So I'll do that right now. I'll see you guys right after. And here's the Shining Gundam all put together. I had a blast putting this kit together. Now, obviously being a real grade, which means you're working with small parts, and that also means there are some areas are pretty tricky, but if you're patient, you'll be fine. And spoiler alert, you got yourself a very well engineered kit. Moving on to stickers, well, I did use one of the pair that only just used just the metallic guys. That's what I did at the eye area. I painted black first and then put the green metallic stickers on. You just have to find the eye outline, and you also have 3 different options to go behind this clear green piece, but instead I painted silver on the inner frame parts. Of course, you do have the G Gundam logo goes on the beam saber effect parts. Now, I decided not to do it because I'm worried about how it peels over time. Let's see, top coated. Do you think that would help? Let me know down below. For seam lines, well, you get none. So that's gonna be it for the out-of-box presentation. So I'll just do a little bit of work on this kit and I'll be right back. Here's the Shining Gundam when you put some effort into it, and it actually looks pretty great until you have to deal with the blue parts, because when it comes to the marking stickers, yeah, you can still see the borders of the marking sticker, but hey, you know what, you can always use water slide decals. So moving on with accessories, starting off with hand options. What you see on the kit are the closed fists. Got two karate chop hands, which comes with one of these hinges. Just bring the ball joint down like that. Two weapon holding hands, two relaxed open palm hands, and two more open palm hands with the fingers bent. Finally, for hand options, you have the shining finger hand. And you get two beam saber effect parts, one long, one short, and of course the beam saber handles are located on the side skirts. And if you want to count this as an accessory, you can pull out this little guy, also known as the core lander. You can bring this cockpit down, and this is what it looks like. And the funny thing is, there's no 3mm hole, so if you want to display it while this thing is flying around, you can't. You might want to grab one of those grabbing things. The articulation on this core lander, this can swing forward and backwards, it can move out, the thruster can move down and up. These little white thrusters can move up and down a little bit. And in terms of gimmicks, here's what it looks like when it's activating a shining finger. The transformation is actually easy. All you gotta do is just open the mouthpiece, open the yellow flaps, pull this white piece out, bring the blue gauntlet over, flip this out, bring these little heel piece down, bring the toes forward, and that's it. And of course, since this is a real grade, another gimmick is the opening cockpit. And before I move on to articulation, I want to give a little shout out to the high grade. It does have a few extra points because it has the shining finger sword and the giant shining finger effect part and two shining finger hands. So moving along with articulation, the head is on a ball joint, and check this out. It has some crazy neck movement, like it can lean forward this far and it can look up this far. Moving on to the arm, the shoulder is on a ball joint. It does have some swinging forward. The shoulder can move up this high. You can shift this down to a little bit, and there is a bicep rotation, double bend at the elbow. There is a forearm rotation, and of course the wrist is on a ball joint. And you also have an additional joint which the wrist can bend this way. Moving on to the torso, it has a nice ab crunch. It can move back that far. Got some side to side, and check this out. You can shift it upwards like that. And of course you do get a waist swivel. So moving on to the skirt, the front skirt can move up this far, and get this, the side skirt is actually connected to the back skirt, so it can do a little ball joint. It can also rotate as well. And as for the back skirt, yes, it can move out. Yep, you see what I mean when the side skirt is connected to the back skirt. Now moving on to the leg, if you look really closely, it does have this swinging mechanism which allows for a pretty high kick. And as for the splits, can it do it? Yes, it can. Yep. And yes, it does have a really cool joint right here, which the thigh can go this way. You get a double bend at the knee. As for the ankle, it can move forward this far, it can move back that far, it can rotate. You do get a pretty good pivot, and of course you do get a toe bend here and here. And it can move up this far. Overall, the articulation on this kit is great. You're gonna have so much fun posing this kit. And speaking of posing, I forgot to mention that if you flip this piece over, there's a 3mm hole which you can plug an action base into. Moving on to size comparisons, here it is right next to the standard size Strike Gundam. And the Strike Gundam stands about 18 meters. The Shining Gundam is just a tad bit shorter. Now I know they're not in scale, but here it is right next to the Master Grade Shining Gundam. Now out of these two, which one looks more appealing? And some of you might ask, well, where's your HG one? Well, I do have it, but I don't feel like digging out of these boxes. And finally, here it is right next to Optimus Prime, SD Ariel, and Lego Batman. So that's gonna be it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. But moving on to my final thoughts, and yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. I love this kit. Like, I can't recommend this kit enough. I know earlier in the video I said I wouldn't be gushing about it, but here I am doing it. So again, I highly recommend you pick this kit up. It's amazing. You can have so much fun posting it, and that's all I gotta say. Alright, so that about wraps up the review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. Questions, concerns, comment down below. See you guys in the next video. So far we got the Real Grade God Gundam, and now the Shining. And what's next? Well, I think you guys already know the answer, but I'm not gonna say it because you guys already know.